Hello all, in this video we are going to discuss about storage organization. First one is subdivision of runtime memory. Compiler gets a block of storage from the operating system in order to execute the compiled program. So this runtime storage is subdivided into parts to hold the informations such as the generated target code, data objects, counterpart of the control stack. The sizes of the generated target code are known at compile time itself. So the compiler can place the generated target code in the static data area. Code is placed in the static data area. Similarly, sizes of some of the data objects are known at compile time itself. So they can also be placed in the static data area. Then third one is control stack. So this control stack is used to keep track of the activation of the procedure. So whenever a procedure call occurs, the current activation of the procedure, procedure is temporarily suspended, and the machine status informations must be stored in a stack. Machine status informations means the value of the program counter and the value of the machine registers must be stored in a stack. And whenever a procedure returns, the activation of the current called procedure must be restored. So that is restarted. Whenever a procedure returns, the activation of the calling procedure must be restarted. So in order to restart the activation, we have to restore the program counter and value of the machine registers. So they should be stored in the stack area, stack memory. Okay, then final one is heap. So some part of the runtime memory is called as heap. So all the other informations will be stored in the heap memory, and the sizes of the stack and heap can be changed during the execution. Therefore they are placed at the opposite ends of the memory and they can grow each other. Okay, so the runtime memory is subdivided into code. Here generated target code will be stored, then static data, here data objects will be stored, then stack, so control stack informations will be stored here, then all other informations will be stored in heap, and these two can be changed during the runtime. Their sizes can be changed during the runtime, so they are placed at the opposite ends and they can grow each other towards each other. Next one is activation records. Whenever a procedure call occurs, the informations in a procedure must be stored in a block of storage. That block of storage is called as activation records or frame. This activation record has some fields. So we will discuss about all the fields. So in a programming language like C, whenever a procedure call occurs, the activation record must be pushed onto the stack, and whenever a procedure returns, that activation record is popped from the stack. So now we will discuss about all the fields of the activation record. The first one is temporaries. This field is used for storing the temporary values generated in a procedure. Temporary values means if we want to execute this code, in order to store some intermediate result, we need some temporaries, right? So that temporary values will be stored in the field of the temporaries. Next field is local data. So the field of the local data is used for storing local data in a procedure. Then third one is status, saved machine status. It is used for storing machine status whenever a procedure call occurs. So when a procedure call occurs, machine status information like the value of the program counter, value of the machine registers, these must be saved in this field, and whenever a procedure returns, that informations will be restored. The next one is optional access link. This is an optional link. It is used to refer to the non-local data of other activation records. Then optional control link. This is also an optional field, and it is used to point to the caller's activation record. It points to the caller's activation. Where suppose the procedure A is calling procedure B, means then B's activation, control link of B's activation record points to the activation record of A. So control link means normally it points to the parent procedure, activation record of the parent procedure. Then next field is actual parameters. So here all the actual parameters will be stored. So normally this is used by the calling program to supply information to the to supply all the actual parameters to the called procedure. Then return value, here return values will be stored, so that this field is used by the caller procedure to return the return value to the send the return value to the calling procedure. So these fields are normally the sizes of these fields are can be determined at the compile time itself. So these are the fields of the activation records. So we have discussed the storage organization. Thank you.